Hey, it's Angela, and I am here with your weekly guidance. You are listening to Divinely Connected, and don't forget to follow me over on my Facebook page at Psychic Medium Angela Cullen. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as I am here every Sunday loading up your weekly guidance and your daily messages for the weekdays. This is your general card read for the next 7 days from August 13th to the 19th. And this will let you know what you can expect as we move through the next 7 days. So let's get to it, see what's going on. All right. So we do have working too hard. So there is this feeling of overwhelm coming in. And there is the need for balance. And I know that you've been feeling this. I also feel like we need to detoxify our bodies as well. So the balance and the harmony coming within our system, sleeping better, eating better, moving our body, maybe cooling it on the indulgences, the eating out, the extra alcohol, whatever it is that you have been loving and experiencing that may be out of the norm or on that side of indulging. They're saying that we need to start to reel it in and create more of this harmony and routine within us. Okay. Now, this is something that is really interesting as well, because there is almost this feeling of addicted to the stress. And this is something that can happen because when we're stressed, when we're worried, when we're hustling and we're going from point A to point B, we are running on adrenaline and cortisol and all of these hormones and chemicals within our body, dopamine as well. And so when we're trying to relax or trying to create time of stillness, we are almost like weaning ourselves from this adrenaline junkie type of energy. And it can be very hard for some. It often comes in with the feeling of missing out. What am I missing? Right? Or the fear of, if I slow down, am I going to go backwards? And so there's so much that goes on that keeps us in that type of rat race mentality or that rat race energy. And there is this almost conscious decision that you have to make to step back from it, to go, okay, you know what? It can wait. It can wait 5 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, and kind of let yourself and your system relax. There's also this feeling of when we expect it and when we know that this can be emotions that are coming up, then we're a little bit more compassionate with ourselves, that we understand what's happening, why we're feeling. Maybe we're kind of getting antsy or kind of crawling out of our own skin. And when you understand, oh, this is because I'm reeling in, this is because I'm bringing in balance. Maybe I'm withdrawing from the sugar, or maybe I'm withdrawing from the takeout, or, whatever it is, there's this feeling of, okay, our systems are fighting it and needing to have this sense of compassion and allowance, and allowing yourself to have this almost transition period. Okay. There's also a decision that's coming in this week as well. Now it says, make a choice. Stop procrastinating or overanalyzing. Get clarity on what you desire and move forward. And this is definitely something that has been put off, or something that you're like, okay, I'm going to deal with it in next week or whatever. There is this feeling of like, it's time to pull the band aid. It also came out with the Sun card, which is super reassuring. It says, a time of great joy and success, brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities, plans that work out perfectly, gratitude to the divine. So, really wanting to remind you that it is now time to make the decisions, to create the plans, and to get back into harmony for yourself. And that as you do, that will bring in the answer prayers, and that's going to bring in the magical opportunities for you. And it is going to be something that really feel, because I keep feeling my heart chakra filling up. So it's really fulfilling that self-love, that love cup, whether it's passion projects or it's relationships, or however that's coming in into your heart chakra. Okay, very healing. We also have the reassurance card. I don't know who this is. Who is this? There feels as though there is, I want to say, someone from authority. For some of you, it may be a parent. For some of you, it may be an in-law. For some of you, it may be your boss or your colleagues. And there's this feeling of someone creating seeds of doubt within you. It's almost like they're trying to put you on the spot. Like that's the feeling that I'm getting. And spirit is kind of bringing it in. Oh, they're asking you of something, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like, oh, they're just asking you something. It's making me feel like I'm being put on the spot. It's creating quite the reaction within my emotional system. And so this may come in exactly like that, putting you on the spot. It may come in backhanded or malicious or feelings of inappropriate or disrespectful. And they're showing you or reminding you that you are amazing. It says the ability to make anything more beautiful, right? And so, wherever these questions that are coming in that are creating this vulnerability or the seeds of doubt within you, it is not the case that those feelings are legitimate because we never deny ourselves from feeling the way that we feel, but you may be feeling little, but you're not little. You are amazing, right? And so there is this feeling of like lean into that energy within this situation, okay? And I think that this is going to then result in changes or boundaries within yourself on how much energy you're going to give, how much, what you're going to put out there in this type of experience. And to me it feels like it does feel very undercutting, right? And so it's kind of that feeling, and this quite possibly be ego. There's quite possibly this is ego. But I'm all like, yeah, you know what? That's what they deserve. So you may be going like, well, I was going to do this for them, but like now I'm not. You just dug yourself a hole. And so that's okay too. That is a way of having a boundary for yourself, of almost justifying it. Because if we are not strong in having boundaries, most times we need to be pushed to the limit till we don't care and don't feel like we're being mean because this is the results of their actions or their words, right? And so, like I said, this experience, although you are amazing, right? It does result in a boundary. Now, that being said as well, this isn't a conflict. This is kind of that sense of when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, right? And that's what this is. And it's just this very clear sense of, okay, I got it now, right? And that clear reminder, and then being able to put boundaries in place because you would never make someone feel like that. You would never intentionally try to hurt someone or undercut them or to belittle them. There's the ego card. Not surprised seeing that. And so there is this reminder that their behaviors, their choice of words, their intentions are a reflection of them and where they are at, and it's not a reflection of you. Now, this being said as well, your emotion, you're hurt, right? And so most times, I'm not saying always, but most times when you're dealing with a personality or an ego, as we are in this experience, they will never be able to own it, to apologize, to have that amount of self-awareness for you to feel validated in where you stand. So this is not a type of situation where you're going to be apologized to, right? And in a very authentic, genuine way. Therefore, you need to create the boundaries and the closure for yourself. Because if we're waiting on someone else to um change their ways or have their self-awareness or be able to own their stuff, right? That's us giving them the power. You do not need someone's apology for closure, right? And most times when you're dealing with such a complicated experience or person, you're not going to get it. So we have to be able to go, "Oh, I hold my own power and I don't need their validation and their owning it to validate my experience here because we're probably not going to get it." Right? And so you have to create that for yourself and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Just again remember that this isn't a reflection of what you deserve and how worthless you are, or, that's never it. People can only act, behave, love, support from where they are at. And so this is just a very clear indicator of where they are at in their consciousness, in their healing, in their life. And so when we see them for their limitations, right? And then we hold more accurate expectations. Now, if this is a family member, then this is the feeling that they bring up, where when we adjust our expectations, we get hurt less. So let's use this as an experience or an example as like a mother figure. And so if you were just hoping and wishing that mom is going to get it and that this time is going to be different and she's going to start healing her stuff, or she's going to validate you and love you, or she's going to compliment you, or she's going to support you unconditionally, that this is the time, then you're going to be continuously let down, right? And then you're going to be continuously disappointed. When you accept that mom is limited, that she cannot see the beauty that you are, and that is too bad for her, in that she can't get out of her own way, and that her unwillingness to heal herself, to take ownership of her behaviors and her words, to regulate her own emotions, when you accept that mom isn't going to do any of that, then when she doesn't do it, you are like, yep, that's exactly what I expected. And it doesn't have that let down, disappointed emotion connected to it. Now, that being said, when we go into acceptance, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, when we go into acceptance, you most likely are going to have a grieving experience, because you would have held on to that hope and that dream that this person is going to do what it takes to be able to love you and support you and be present for you in that unconditional way that you deserve. And so, whether this is a parent or a lover or an ex or a child, depending on what your situation is, it will then, you will have this letting go, because we have created and held on to that dream for so long. And anything that once was that no longer is has a grieving period. Grief is not only for departed loved ones, right? And so, even letting go of that hope and that dream is going to be devastating. And you will have to move through and experience those emotions. And it doesn't make you heartless, and it doesn't make you mean. You are just accepting what is in front of you. And best case scenario, they shift and they change. And then, oh, cherry on top. But this is how you be able to move forward in a space where it's less up and downs and less disappointment continuously as you move forward. Okay. There's also something that's coming in as well that is heavy in the finances. So whether you are looking for a mortgage, or buying or selling a car, or getting financial help or student loans, or whatever it is, it feels big. Like, unless you're really going to a high pay grade, step up, this feels more like, oh, we got approved for the mortgage, or oh, I got the house at the money that I want. It's like six figures, right? So this is kind of where my head is going. But it says a time of great success, financial security and prosperity, the Midas touch, everything turning out beautifully, right? And so whoever is waiting on that, that's also coming in. And I also want to add, because I am such an observer when I do readings for people and when I do the weekly guidance in the private sessions, and it's always so intriguing to me as when we learn the hard lesson, when we heard accepting someone for who they are and letting go of your hopes and your dreams of who you wish they would be. That is huge. It literally brings tears to my eyes. That is huge. That is a huge life lesson. And so it is very apparent to me observing the messages that come in and witnessing the sessions over the last 10 years that when we learn the hard thing, we are wildly rewarded by the universe. And so we may then get the job, the lover, the home, the money, the health, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. And it is so apparent to me. And I feel like people don't connect it, right? Because it may be completely two categories in your life, completely two different categories in your life. But when everything is connected, right? And when you learn a lesson in one way, you may be rewarded in another, right? So if you learn your lesson, say in your love life, you may then be rewarded in your career life. And so it's going to be, I plant that seed in your mind for you so that you're able to look back and just kind of, again, observe your life experience and see how the universe applauds you for doing the hard thing, for learning the hard thing, for choosing to love yourself and do what ultimately is best for yourself. So I'm going to leave that with you. Don't forget to come back on Monday for your Monday's daily message. Have a wonderful week, everyone.